Alright, kita juga ingin melihat kepada the US market for this morning. Okay, US market as of this morning, especially after the rate cut last night. Okay, US market as of this morning. This is okay. Let me open the US market first. US market as of this morning is quite red in few sectors or counters, basically. Stock screener, we go for S&P 500. This is very important. All right, as of this morning, if you look at this main sector under S&P 500, Microsoft was down by 1.1% as compared to other peers as well under software and infrastructure, and same goes with Oracle and other counters and Adobe as well. If you look at Microsoft, for instance, 1% is quite a huge number, up down by 430.81 as of this morning. And of course, the news about Microsoft, where Microsoft basically, Microsoft's hiring of artificial intelligence startup inflections staff, including its co-founders, will not be scrutinized under European Union merger rules, EU antitrust regulators said on Wednesday. The European Commission said 7 EU countries had dropped their requests asking it to examine the deal, and the move followed by the ruling of Europe's top court earlier this month prohibiting the EU enforcer from examining merger cases which fall below the EU's merger revenue threshold. Then critics said these merger powers were regulatory overreach, while the Commission said such deals could be killer acquisitions in which big companies acquire startups to shut them down. The EU executive said the deal amounted to a merger as it means the new inflection would shift focus to a different activity, namely its AI studio business. And of course, this is one of the latest news on Microsoft, and one of the major counter that we should look at is Meta, under basically communications services and internet content information. If you look at Google first, Google was quite neutral by adding up 0.33%, while Meta is quite neutral as well, adding up by 0.30% as of this morning at S&P 500. And of course, Meta updates, the Facebook owner Meta agreed to buy up to 3.9 million carbon offset credits from Brazilian investment bank BTG Pactual's forestry arm through 2038. The companies said on Wednesday in a statement. However, they did not disclose the value of the deal, and carbon offsets allow companies to offset greenhouse gas emissions by paying for actions to cut emissions elsewhere to meet corporate climate goals. And each credit represents a reduction of 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide emissions under the long-term contract signed by the Meta and also BTG Pactual Timberland Investment Group, TIG. The owner of Facebook and Instagram agreed to buy 1.3 million carbon credits with options to purchase an additional 2.6 million credits. That is the update on Meta. And of course, Google just now is quite neutral as well, was up by 0.33% as of last night at S&P 500. Alphabet unit Google won a legal challenge on Wednesday against a 1.49 billion euro or $1.7 billion European Union antitrust fine, while Qualcomm failed to repeal a penalty. And the rulings underscore outgoing EU antitrust chief Margaret a mixed record in defending her crackdown on big tech in court. She scored 2 major wins last week against Google in a separate case and against Apple's tax deal with Irish authorities. And the European Commission, in its 2019 decision, said Google had abused its dominance to prevent websites from using brokers other than its AdSense platform that provided search adverts, and the practices it said were illegal took place from 2006 until 2019, and Google said the case was about a narrow subset of text-only search ads placed on a limited number of publishers' websites. And of course, that is on the US market. Other counted as well. On S&P 500, Nvidia was down by 1.92% as of this morning as compared to other of its peers. Qualcomm or Broadcom was down by 0.49%. Same goes to other advanced micro devices as well. 1.68% down as of last night. Qualcomm, if you look at Qualcomm, it's quite neutral in that sense, down by 0.24%. That is for semiconductors services. And of course, this is on the S&P 500.